That's right, folks. It's another late night and time for another reach into the Just Giggle It Grab-Bag. And tonight we're pulling out Watching You, Episode 5, Sexual Harassment, to quote the great Hal Miller. That's right, folks. We're talking yet again about Just Giggle It. Remember, that's the only place if you want to find an honest laugh. It's not just the Giggle It, it's Just Giggle It. How we doing, Tiki?
I'm doing fantastic, Dragon. I'm in a great mood, and I honestly think the reason I'm in such a good mood, Dragon, is because the last 2 weeks we've been covering real downers from Joshua Thomas and company.
Yeah. Forgive,
Because of
man.
course, watching you episode 4 was the infamous, big parent dying episode, as we kept saying, the Uncle Ben episode, if you will. And then
Yeah.
we had Erase Away, which was Joshua Thomas's feature film debut. Unfortunately, not available now on YouTube, but
His
we
long
covered it.
lost feature length debut.
Yes, but we covered it right before it got pulled. And Erase Away definitely struck a nerve with me with some of the relationship aspects that it went into. So, Dragon, you know what? After this episode, yeah, yeah, I think they kind of had a nice sleight of hand trick with Taylor here.
Yeah, it's really amazing how I feel. I'll kind of tease my overall thought here. Is that, again, we can jump pretty much into it, but overall, I felt this episode did what episode two attempted to do. Now, to be fair, I think that's because the bases were loaded in the best way plot wise. Because again, we had that balance. We had that. We had kind of the downer episode, and then we needed levity more than ever. Therefore, and Taylor was like it was a well worn glove versus when he was just kind of like an abrasive, like, oh my god, where did I buy this thing? In episode two, where just things weren't quite clicking, and again, it was part again, folks. The way we got to look at this first quote unquote season is that it was intended to be basically an hour and change pilot,
Mhm.
like a full episode was kind of broken off into parts. That's why certain parts may have suffered in certain respects, but basically it ended in non-permanent ways. Basically, it's like you can definitely tell there's a to be continued manufactured in there because no, we can't end it here. This isn't an ending by any stretch. Episode four had a real downer ending. Thankfully, we have a kind of a good counterbalance. And this week, it's all Taylor. No Jessica this week. Which again, I was hoping for Jessica, but by the same token, I thought it was a very smart choice that we focused on Taylor to kind of justify his weight as a character in contrast to Jessica. I still think we need them both in the series. We can't just follow Taylor, otherwise it's going to be what kind of what kind of Johnny Knoxville show are we watching here? But, thankfully, it's we have a fantastic balance here. We definitely see Taylor kind of prove his merit when the show can not only get as serious and kind of emotional and kind of reach into the puppeteer the heartstrings like there's no tomorrow, and by the same token, kind of make you laugh and just kind of capture the visual absurdity at its finest. And Johnny Walter, by the way, let's give him major props here because he's doing what I've been saying from day one. This guy is so fantastic at physical comedy. The guy's really he knows exactly how to use his body to hit the comedic punctuations in a scene. He's got him nailed down to a science. He knows exactly what he's doing, and it shows. All right.
Dragon, do you know where else you can find a great example of physical comedy in Joshua Thomas's performance as the Joker?
Tiki, I just wish I did. If only someone could elaborate on it. Could you?
Yeah, sure, folks. On the same channel that we're covering Watching You, you will find basically what amounts to Watching You's spiritual successor, which is Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the real world. Oh man, that's right, folks. This is the big deal. This is the big time, folks. This is what these guys are known for. It's their bread and butter, and we need to help them. We need to help them, folks, because Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the real world. I've never seen a person not like it. I've never seen a person be introduced to it and be like, "Man, this isn't my Joker."
I prefer the Jared Leto Joker.
Okay, well, okay, let's not. Yeah,
I I know. I'm kidding. That'd be a person. That's a Bizarro person right there. But
but Dragon, why don't you kind of take them through some of the specifics?
sure, folks. Folks. Yet again, as all of you should, I was rewatching episode five, and something occurred to me. Something occurred to me in looking at the view count, because folks, we need to get that view count up to 1 million. Basically, that's the cake at the end of the rainbow, folks. We're going to get some great Just Giggle It content, some more phenomenal sketches and shorts. We've been getting a few parodies and a few short videos that are basically have been again, folks. They're trying to divert attention to Harley Quinn and the Joker, so we get more episodes, because that's the biggest demand on the Just Giggle It channel. So right now, you'll see videos and they'll disappear, and you're not crazy. You can find them like in playlists and on the Twitter feed, most likely, of Just Giggle It. But again, folks, I'd recommend you check those out. But by the same token, that's because we can't underemphasize the importance of getting Harley Quinn, the Joker versus the Real World, episode 5's view count up to 1 million, so we get more episodes. Because, folks, they've teased us with episodes 6 and 7 with a few script pages, which sound amazing. Joshua Thomas, in his most recent, by this recording, most recent live stream, he basically read that scene and gave us a little extra dessert on that, where he basically, right after that, he kind of told us what happens after those pages we've read, and it sounded amazing. It was literally like a table read in live streaming form. Blew my mind. It just made me want another episode, the next episode, even more so than I already did. Anyway, so the thought occurred to me that logically, at some point, the view count is going up considerably, but it's not going up fast enough, folks. Because by my calculations, one of these days we will meet basically, once we get 1 million, that's when the episodes will be cranked out. I'm not sure how far production-wise they are, because I know there's definitely a script, and I know actors that probably read through it. I don't know how far in the can it is, but I would assume it's, for all we know, it could be in the can, just be ready to view it, and just like kind of finger over the button type stuff, like, oh boy, I'm just waiting for that 1 million. But my point is, eventually, rough bear on, folks, I'm not a mathematician, roughly, like, I hate to say it, assuming like a view count goes up like 1,000 a day, that's ideal. Like, ideally, let's say it goes up 1,000 a day. It would take us roughly 2 years to get another episode. So hopefully we can shave time off of that, folks.
Ooh, man.
That's what I'm saying, folks. You want it. I every time in those wonderful live streams with Joshua Thomas answers all your questions. Again, I check those out too, folks. Show your support. Everyone's saying, like, the first comment in the room is like, more Harley Quinn, the Joker is real, because you know what's happening, folks. It's very simple what's happening. People are watching that web series, as they should. Their minds are blown, and they're going to the channel. They're watching all the episodes, and they hit episode 5. Oh my God, where's the next one? And they're losing their minds. And the next video, it's up like, hey guys, where's the next episode? They're freaking out because they want that next episode. And folks, you can make it happen. Rewatch those videos. Send it to work colleagues. Send it to friends. Send it to neighbors. Send it to old college pals. Send it to your grandparents. Send it to retirement homes. Send it all around, man. You got to get those views up. Publicize it. Hashtag it. Highlight it on Twitter. Something. Just get the words for it, and we'll get more episodes, because they sound fantastic. Tiki and I are even going to help in any way that we can, with just kind of keeping the name of Harley Quinn, the Joker versus the Real World alive and in everybody's hearts, especially around this pre-holiday season. Who knows?
Oh man, yeah, sure, with the holidays, of course.
Yes. So, folks, there's a lot to look forward to. Again, I highly recommend you check out the link that's in this video, as well as all of our other videos. Harley Quinn the Joker, episode 5. Watch that video, because one, it's probably the best episode so far, and 2, why not? And real quick, just to kind of get us into this episode, Josh Thomas on said live stream, he shared a lot of very interesting factoids and kind of confirmed few of my thoughts. He confirmed what my theory was in the history of Frozen Fire Productions, because for those who may not be aware, Frozen Fire Productions was the original company behind Watching You, as well as Erasaway. Did Erasaway, then they did this to kind of juxtapose, like, oh man, that was such an emotionally raw bummer. Can we do something a little lighter, a little more comedic? Says, yeah, sure. And we get Watching You. My theory was that, surprisingly, I was completely correct on this, which I didn't expect, So, folks, apparently the history of Frozen Fire Productions, Joshua Thomas, and a few of the, I feel like Scott Langford. I assume he's still, I don't know if he's still around with Just Giggle, but the point is, like, guy's been involved in some of these sketches. Scott Langford, one of the producers, he and Josh Thomas and various other producers and contributors did this company, Frozen Fire Productions, in Joshua Thomas's formative San Antonio, Texas years, and they made they made Erase Away, and they made Watching You, and that's where he met Alex Poncio in an improv group down there. They became roomies. They kind of it's a beautiful little friendship when you think of it. It's kind of like a Casablanca friendship when you think that they met each other. It's like the beginning of a beautiful friendship where they become roommates, and over time they kind of become
Dragon, it's
friends.
the makings of a biopic, and we're not kidding.
I know we got the actors cast and everything. So one of these
We're not
days,
kidding here, folks. It's like
oh
a
seriously,
threat. It's like a vague threat.
like the Venom movie. Yeah, we're going to deliver on that one day. No, but seriously, it's an amazing little story. And of course, once Joshua Thomas kind of moves to LA, it's fun how his work is paralleling his career, and that Erase Away is a very personal story for him. And of course, kind of the roommate appeal of what we have with Harley Quinn and the Joker, and kind of with Watching You with kind of our unlikely roommates. At least that's what we're getting from that first episode. And of course, the move to LA, very much a Harley Quinn and Joker tie-in. So again, it's a little Freudian kind of little Freudian kind of filmmaker parallel there.
Sure.
Okay, all that said, you ready to jump into it?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, start us off.
Okay, so Dragon, another highlight character we have this episode is Xerxes.
Yes.
Oh my god. Dragon, you know what he reminds me of? He reminds me so much of Victor Zsasz. I don't know if we've had this conversation yet.
I see the Zsasz parallel. I think he looks like Victor Zsasz, but I made the connection finally who he reminded me of. Because at the very least, this episode, I don't know if this
character from Barry.
No, that'd be delightful though, but no. No, he Tyler Keyes, I believe, is this actor's name. I don't know if this is intentional. At the very least, this episode gave off this vibe to me, so I'm retroactively thinking maybe he was doing that the whole time. It reminds me so much of Siegfried from Get Smart, the old the television series, not the Steve Carell reboot. I'm talking about the original series. You had Bernie Capel, this funny comedic actor. He played this basically kind of this vague, basically a silly version of a Nazi during the kind of the Cold War era. He was basically he was like the recurring arch nemesis who was silly and very cordial though. It was like he was just a mean, nasty guy, but he was like Dr. Draken from Kim Possible almost for Get Smart. That's essentially what he was, and his famous catchphrase was he had this bumbling psychic Stalker. And like this, and Stalker does something silly, like he'll make like the raspberry sound, and then Bernie Capel would say, "Stalker, this is chaos. We don't here, we don't do it here." Just it'd be ridiculous.
Well, okay.
My point is just he has this over.
No, I'm sorry, Dragon. I don't really. I never really watched Get Smart, so.
Anyways, I'm saying I think later on, he has this line later on. I'll get into it. Sounds identical, like a Bernie Capel delivery. We'll get there, but yes, Xerxes. I love how supportive. He does have the kind of the Anthony Kerrigan kind of Barry-esque thing, and how he's played here, and that he's a very nice guy to his subordinates. I love that. I love how he's a very supportive director. He's so proud of Angie.
Oh, you're so good at holding up your cards. I'm so proud of you.
That's what I'm saying. I love how pleasant he is with everybody else. He's just especially Angie played by Lizzie Poncio again, who's delightful in this, and her little. There's just this great moment towards the end we'll get to, but I mean she's good.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So yes, the cue card. Right now, Lizzie Poncio is holding some cue cards, and we continue with again the sexual harassment. No bueno video. So Taylor, right out the gate, he's kind of botching it as he's starting the take, and he's misreading the cue cards. I love that not only is he misreading the cue cards, you can see he's misreading the cue cards. He's got these giant kind of sweat stains under the armpit. And he's doing these very over-the-top gestures, which get better as it goes on. What I love is you can see him very visually nervous and very much like an out-of-practice infomercial actor.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
He forgets in his first line to put "in" into the sentence, much to Xerxes' dismay. No, what are you saying? You have to put "in."
I love that almost like more than half of these takes are unusable, yet Xerxes just goes with it.
and not only does he go off and he's like, okay, that's fine, that's good, very good. That was yes, that was. We'll get into it. We'll get into it. Anyways,
Sure. Let's see. So Taylor's going to this thing about So do you feel Sega? He's doing it very clunkily. So it's like, do you have sexual urges? Are you daydreaming of cleavage, or is that chair rubbing bottom?
oh my god.
That's
And again, like you're talking about, Dragon, the physical comedy on this guy is great.
Oh yeah, Walters. He's perfect at this physical comedy. Again, he has been since I love that suitcase move he did like towards the second episode where he rushes over that suitcase when the girlfriend was packing up and leaving. But okay, so basically Hal enters, and I love this. And this basically the image you had before here is exactly what I'm talking about here. I love that when Hal these two. I love the pairing we have like for this episode. Our three main kind of actors in this piece here. We have Hal enters, and Taylor makes the acting choice to assist him in gesturing, which I thought was a very inspired and very funny choice. I don't know if it was Taylor making that choice or if it was Johnny Walter making that choice. Whoever made that choice was very clever. Just makes it's so ridiculous over the top. Like, yeah, he's pointing to the backboard and everything. It's hilarious. Then we introduce Sharon, and then this Zoe just comes out, says, "Hi, I'm playing Sharon." And I just love that right out the gate we have this oh boy mentality. Like, oh boy, this thing's gonna be a disaster. You can feel it. Of course, we are very CWS watching.
That's the cold open, right? That's the cue.
Yep, that's cue.
Okay. All right, let's see. Then we get into Xerxes. Okay, so we start in with the toner dragon, and this toner thing is like a great dragon. I feel like this is almost like a Just Giggle It sketch, like kind of like a nugget in the middle of an episode. You know what I mean? Like this could be almost a standalone sketch with this toner bit.
Right. I think my favorite lines in this toner segment here. So let's see. So again, the gist for all three of these folks is it's mainly a breakdown of do's and don'ts, appropriate and inappropriate, with three scenarios. So we have we start with this very like appropriate toner conversation, and then we get where things get interesting. When this line cracks me up there, so then we go to inappropriate. We start with inappropriate. It says, "Hey, I'm trying to think about. Hey, Sharon, nice rack. You want to have guilt-free sex with toner?" I just love
what I'm talking about, Dragon. Like with the toner thing, it just gets as the thing goes on, it just gets more and more ridiculous, and yet somehow they try and work in toner into it.
That's the thing that cracks me up. That's my favorite line of the episode. There's nice rag. You want to have guilt-free sex with toner? Again, just the way it's the timing and everything about it. It's the way he lifts up the toner. It's just with toner again. Toner's just like outside. It's like Toner's like the last minute addition, and again we do read into Taylor's character a little bit here, where I love that line, and it with Walter's delivery, it shows that this is Taylor's natural setting, as in like that's why he honestly, if you look at his acting choices, the inappropriate choices that he's making before Xerxes' intervention is really good and really natural because that's who that guy is in this natural state. Or again, if you want to get all meta, it's like that's what Johnny Walters is making this fictional actor have as his natural choice.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really clever. So then Xerxes, he gives these weird directions. Now, folks in the directing world, you will, you'll give you won't give like they say, okay, this is what happens in the script, so do that. You won't necessarily say that. You will describe things to kind of be evocative of feelings and such. But by the same token, either he's not doing it near well enough, or our actors are just taking it purely in the literal sense. So something's off with the third direction. Again, it's kind of like comedy 101. It's like the rule of threes here. Okay, beat one, beat two, then beat three, and it's the rule of three comedy we got working throughout this thing.
Sure.
You remember what the main direction was from Xerxes on?
Yes. Okay. So you play Wheel of Fortune, right? And she Vanna White, and she's going to turn the letter, and I want you to spin the wheel. Don't get bankrupt. Okay, and then I just love all these Wheel of Fortune analogies he throws at him. He's like, okay, I'm sorry, go. So then we cut to Taylor. Taylor starting with, "Hello, Sharon. Look at you revealing yourself to everybody. And then Xerxes is yelling in the background, solve the puzzle. Okay, solve the puzzle. Do you want to be lit up in my sex drive, dragon?
Sorry, I'm just. I just have that she's. He's. I have the actions, not the line on this, because just I was laughing so much at it. She's posing nonstop. I'm sorry, just like he's gesturing towards the cleavage, and he's like he's bizarre turning thing again. He's trying to turn an imaginary wheel as she's saying, "Oh yeah, like turn the letters." And that's the thing. Like again, the direction. Basically, what Xerxes is trying to communicate here, I think, is like present the toner like it's on the wheel, like Vanna White should be presenting the toner, or like something on The Price is Right almost. It's honestly, I think it has the wrong game show metaphor. I think that's what the problem is. but yeah. So after that, let's see. So we have the Apple gag.
Oh God, the Apple gag. This was kind of a runner-up for what I was going to use as the root image. He's just like, oh no, not the red ones. I only eat Granny Smiths. Oh, you don't know me. That's okay.
But again, he's very nice to the staff.
That's what I'm saying. There's a very Tommy Wiseau, like it's like Tommy Wiseau if Tommy Wiseau was actually like really easy to work with.
Maybe, but yeah, I think Xerxes again. It would be funny though, because I guess Tommy Wiseau. I'm trying to think back to Disaster Artist if we saw him give like bad character. Oh well, in the audition process, I guess we saw him give really bad character direction. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was. The thing, the kid, he's so nice, and things are running smoothly, and they're moving quickly and smoothly. But again, he's not giving good directing actions. You know, he's not directing the actors that well. All right, so then we have the water cooler. This is a funny one, though, because we have this one's hilarious. Okay, so we have the water cooler, and of course, the transitioning action before that is, hey, you want some water cooler aid?
Water cooler aid. Okay. Then let's see. So cutting back. Let's see. Xerxes demands gum. Wintermint or spear.
No, he gives. He says, "This is Wintermint. I wanted spearmint, but okay."
But oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, he's like, okay.
And I got to tell you though, what happens? I don't know if you missed this. Angie gave him her used gum. I gotta tell you, that's kind of gross to me. By the same token, I mean, I don't. This might just sound really just like pedantic, like, oh my god, it must have been horrible to shoot. That was at least for the actor, like eating pre-chewed gum. That's nasty.
Dragon, tell me, are you a Wintermint guy or a Spearmint guy?
I gotta be honest, I'm not a gum guy at all.
Really? So you don't know either of the flavors?
I know the flavors. I'm just saying I don't really partake.
Okay, well, I'm saying if you know the flavors, pick one.
Okay, if well,
humor me.
All right, spearmint.
All right. You see, I'm more of a Wintermint guy. I think Wintermint has more of a bold taste to it.
A bold finish.
And there you go, folks. That's what I like to call filler in my podcast. Yeah.
Gummy filler. See, instead we have the bricks of podcasting.
I'm gonna like literally like write that down in the video description, like under the Harley Quinn and Joker link, like the time code, like Wintermint versus Spearmint controversy.
Oh come on! You're. Anyway,
I'm kidding. Of course, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, we're trying to promote Harley Quinn and the Joker. Like, hey, gum. Okay, let's see. Getting back on point here. So yes, the water cooler gag here. So again, after the pre-chewed gum, I like that. I like that in the takes here. So Taylor, I like that you can see that Taylor is giving it a try. At least that's what I inferred from the sweat and everything. The guy, he's hit or miss as an actor. And again, maybe with some better direction, who knows? And that's the thing. He has good presence, and you'll notice he gets better progressively as each take goes on. It gets more natural. Again, like that first, like the bumper takes of like, him like telling like, hey guys, you can't read from the cue cards. But when he's improvising, that's when he's kind of in his wheelhouse.
Uh-huh.
And again, it gets a little less stupid per take. You know, it's a little okay. He's gonna ease it into it. All right. Then we have the water cooler scene, and by the way, a little pet peeve, just it kind of bugged me. I mean, I know it's a real thing, so it's not like an actual gripe against the episode. I was just saying from real life, it kind of bugs me. It always bugs me when the water cooler is missing the jug because there's no jug in this water cooler. It's just like the water that's already in like the bottom part. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Okay, so let's say we have the appropriate version, which is about like, oh, nice weather we're having. You know, again, it's very standard water cooler talk, and then we get the inappropriate. So the inappropriate, or the quote Michael.
I love how. Well, it's like first of all, he's like, "Oh, let's go somewhere where we can safely talk about it."
Yes.
And then Xerxes is like, "Okay, now do inappropriate, so inappropriate." I love Xerxes' direction, Dragon. He is passionate.
Or to quote Michael Shannon from Premium Rush, "How is that appropriate?"
Oh God.
Okay, so we do the inappropriate here, and Taylor, he this is where he really comes alive. I think in the whole thing here, he does again some smart improvisation. If you're doing it like the ultimate over the top appropriate here, which is what Xerxes wanted. He does this improv where he uses the cup holder, like all the stacked cups. It has that annoying little slide thing on the side of it. I know I'm sounding really petty about these little water cooler intricacies. He slides off the little cup holder thing, and he basically uses the cup holder as a makeshift erection.
Mm-hmm.
And I love at the end he does like the "I'm spent" dispensing of the cups onto the girl's cleavage. It's pretty funny.
So inappropriate. But he's okay, let's see. Oh, and okay, now we have another crazy direction from Xerxes. Okay, so you remember Beauty and the Beast. I want you to remember the part where Beast gets magical spell broken, and Belle looks at him like, "Oh, like that's it? I mean, you were more attractive as the Beast." Am I getting Dragon?
Essentially, I think we're insulting Tyler Keys here, but I mean, yes, we're poor actor. I think we're butchering his delivery, but yes, that's the line. And I wonder if Joshua Thomas's favorite Disney movie is Beauty and the Beast, because I'm putting the pieces together here, from that Disney, the Disney Prince support meeting.
You think I want to be called Beast?
Poncio! Still in the Beast there. So yes, okay. So then, by the way, during this, and again, Zoe's making some smart choices here too. I love how she resets the cups, and I honestly, I wonder if this was Johnny Walter getting the idea in the moment here, where you can see him like gesture the cups, and I think they're just working really well off of each other here. Again, I don't know if it's the characters working well off of each other or the actors working well off of each other as the characters, but. He basically motions as Xerxes is given the direction. He says, "Hey, put the cups back on the thing," and she does it in a kind of a dirty way, where she's putting the cups, and she let's just say she lingers on the top of the phallic prop. Let's say.
Oh boy! Whoa.
So anyway, so again, the whole like convince that the new body's better, and in doing that, it's basically he wants the 1/1000th, 2/1000th moment from Beauty and the Beast, the big Prince transformation moment. But he wants like convince her. Oh god, and that's all right. So then it starts. He starts saying "Beauty and the Beast." I just love he's singing that.
Yeah, he's like literally just kind of like singing it in the background, just offhandedly to himself.
Like Xerxes' little color commentary is great on the side. There's this magical for all of us.
Oh god.
Okay, so then they're about to begin the take, and then we get the boom mic guy off screen.
Boom mic.
Or just the boom guy's it's just so random and so funny. He just goes boom as he like taps Taylor on the shoulder with the boom mic. And I gotta tell you, I wonder if this would be a really deep pull, and I doubt this is the case. But Alex Poncio has been doing this lately with Joshua Thomas in a few live streams, where he basically would be like a guy off to the side saying things to throw him off. So I wonder if this might have been an uncredited Poncio for all we know.
Concio.
Exactly. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's the origin of that running gag, like him interrupting, you know, kind of the whatever Josh Thompson's doing on the side here. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. Okay, so then basically Xerxes' direction as this is going on is getting ridiculous. So basically doing what he did
Going on
before.
about like teacups and
He's basically using Chip as like a crank it up sexually direction.
oh,
Essentially, he's like, just yes, more teacup, think teacup.
well, that's definitely inappropriate.
And basically, again, they're doing like again the expenditure motion is what cracks me up. Because again, it was a smart choice. If you have these cups that are like all just stacked up, and basically he's like flinging the cups onto the girl, and then they're using it to, like they're pouring water into the cup and they're spritzing each other. It's ridiculous. It's just like yes, the mama teacup took the teapot took the teacup away. Go on. it's ridiculous. So let's see. After that, okay. So then Hal, yeah. So Hal's introduced in the next segment. Is Hal introduced at the next thing. By the way, got a real Scooby Doo, James Gunn Scooby Doo vibe here. You know, the live action. I say James Gunn, he wrote it. He didn't direct.
Dude, I keep forgetting that James Gunn directed that movie.
No, he didn't direct it. He wrote it. I keep saying that because again, it's so mind blowing that he worked on that movie. But
it is mind blowing that he worked on that movie.
Yeah, the live action. I think what was it, 2000 or 99? No, couldn't have been 99. It had to be 2000. Yes.
No, I actually think it's 2002.
That's fair. No, that was the sequel. The sequel was 2002. The point is, sorry, my point is, it feels like the live
Scooby Doo Dragon.
Okay, my point is, it feels like the weird live action Scooby Doo movie. Remember that section of the Scooby Doo movie where they had they walked it. They're doing their investigation. They're investigating a studio and like a set, and they find that weird. So bizarre, it's almost like a scene from Scream, almost, where they're looking at these tapes of like, here's how you have conduct yourselves. It was like a teen brainwashing place. How they're gonna instruct the monsters how to act when they're inside the human bodies. It's like do and don't. And we saw like these guys, like a guy bumps into another guy, says, "Hey man, watch, I'm gonna destroy you." And then it says, "Oh man, that's fine. You want to hang out?" Remember that whole bizarre section of that movie?
Vaguely.
Anyway. Okay, so yeah, so what I'm saying is like we have these cutaways to like the facilitators of our acts here, like Hal Miller, and it kind of reminding me of like this really happy this happy lady saying, "And here's the right way you do it." Anyway. So Hal introduces the next segment about staying late with an employee of the opposite sex, or perhaps the same fixtures. Isn't that right, Evan? And we do like an office style pan.
Hi,
Evan, poor Evan.
I feel so bad for Evan, especially because like he's probably the only person in the room who's even thinking about what Jessica's going through.
Yeah, because again, we had that great dramatic scene with Evan towards the top of the last episode. So yeah. You gotta remember, folks. I know it's spread out, but this is all going on within the same day. So this is all in everybody's mind. They're all wearing the same thing. It's still day one.
All right. Meanwhile, he's off to the side. Chip, I need a chip.
No, not the teacup.
No time, no dip. That's okay. No time for dip.
Let's see. So then we see the appropriate version of staying at night. And again, I got to tell you, again, the Taylor, he's getting better. He has this great stoic posing. I love it. He's kind of posing really well here. It says, "Oh yeah, you want to stay late and then do some work, essentially." So then we have the next take. It says, "Okay, cut, Chip," and again, Chip says, "You had like 20 seconds to get dip," and he's going for the next Chip. So then, let's see. Oh yes, this hilarious thing happens. They're about to do the inappropriate, and right before that happens, everyone gets in places, and Zoe, he says, "Okay, we all ready for inappropriate?" And she begins to do the scene. And he says, "Hey, I'm sorry. Did I say action? This is the Bernie Capel bit right here. This is what I'm talking about." He says, "Get over there," because that's what Bernie Capel would do all the time on Get Smart. He would say, "Get over there." He gets so he's like a strict German character, and then he would just break and just go like vaudevillian all of a sudden. He's like, "Get over there."
Oh man,
that's kind of what he does. That's just when he did that. Screamed to me like, "Oh, that's when I put it together." Like, "Oh my god, I know who that is. At least I know who that reminds me of."
Right.
Anyway,
right, gotcha.
So we do the inappropriate, and I got to tell you, the inappropriate was funny on this one. The inappropriate, and again, this is Taylor in his wheelhouse. So sorry, folks. So Taylor's making these great kind of like thinker poses here. Sharon walks in, Zoe slash Sharon just walks in there, and you can see exactly how this scene's going to go down, where his hand is posed on the chair, and she sits on his hand, and then again we have almost this. Sorry, I was about to make a, reference there. We okay, I guess we have kind of this almost. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought on this. The point is, like, she jumps up in very kind of seductive pose, I guess, and we're definitely showcasing some definitely feminine beauty from Jennifer Cundiff here, the actress that plays Zoe. And again, I do like that it's with purpose and just kind of not losing track. Because I do think we put her in this dress, and I just like the style of this dress. But I do like that we made jokes about this in the show and in the marketing, and I like that the cleavage again is somewhat of a story point. It is very reflective of how she and Jessica are different characters. Again, one's open, but to be open and be receptive well by other people, be kind of in a public view, you do open yourself to skepticism and you're not taken seriously. You're seen as an object, as she will be by the end of this episode. So I do like that we're sexualizing her in a way that still might bear some fruit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Because she has this kind of almost like this Farmiga charm when she's like the way she like kind of gets all cutesy, like oh she's things are starting to heat up in this inappropriate version as things are getting and before this becomes another type of movie. Hal shots cut. Xerxes is saying I say cut, I sign checks, which is a great comeback by the way. I sign checks. Great. Here it's a wrap, everybody. And Taylor, he wanted to continue the scene. Like, hey, I love the line about the janitor and the broomstick, and I thought that was really good. Then this bit kills me.
Taylor's just like all over wanting to do other things with it.
I know, that's what I'm saying. You've seen this girl, how can you blame him? So as this happens, I love Angie walks by. Angie's just like, rap! And Tiki, the way that Lizzie Ponce delivers this, it reminds me so much of it's so much. It's like she's like the negative pixie looming over Taylor's head here. It's like the Aaron Brill from Better Call Saul. It's like she means well, she's doing her job, but she's just like no sympathy for this guy. Just like like he wants to get his rocks off, rap. But she's tugging on the collar. She's like no. And again, she's been like she wouldn't get him coffee and everything. It's lovely this little mini dynamic that they've established in their episodes. It's kind of a little delightful little touch there. So, Xerxes, again, very nice. He's going to take the crew to Chili's.
Yep.
He's very nice.
It's not like a 5-star restaurant or anything, but hey,
Hey, Chili's is home to a lot of people. It's Chili's. Yeah. Okay, so the big Taylor and Zoe scene.
Yeah, so Taylor's kind of like awkwardly trying to hit on Sharon.
And of course, my name's not actually Sharon. Says, "Oh, you must really be a good actress." And I love they're at the craft service table, and she's unpeeling a banana. Again, they're talking about the phallic symbols in this episode, the cup holder and the bananas and everything. So he compliments her acting, and Zoe. You can definitely tell that Zoe is into him.
Mm-hmm.
And then Hal interrupts again, as these two characters will be. These two characters, as we've established in the show, Zoe's kind of somewhat of a flirt, and Taylor is a major flirt. These two characters, logically, it's like two opposite forces, attracting. It's very well. I mean, I shouldn't say opposite forces. That's the main plot I'm thinking of. No, they're very much two similar forces that are attracted together. Hal intervenes, says, "Okay, Taylor." He just says, "Right, whatever." Just gets the name wrong. Trying to show some dominance in any way that he can.
All right, checks in the mail, so off you go.
Thanks, Kimosabi. All right, so then Hal being very possessive, and again, I think that I don't know, I bring up the cleavage and everything because again, I think I'm not just trying to go back to that part, but I'm just saying for this beat right here, this bit I think might be some layers they're trying to add to Zoe. That again, like Zoe,
Dragon, this moment is I would say it's one of the most interesting and kind of thought-provoking moments in watching you, honestly.
Because again, like Zoe's a character, especially in this episode. Zoe was fun. She was kind of cute. She was nice.
The way I see it is, it kind of shows like maybe, and of course the folks who actually made this can correct us in the comments, but I kind of saw it as like a double standard kind of thing, where it's like men can kind of get away with so much more than women can. Like men can just like goof off all over the place, like we saw Taylor do, and but with Zoe, who was just trying to have some fun with it, she's greeted with "your acting career is done."
I'm going to go as far as to say this, Tiki, and I don't know. This is a big thing. I would love confirmed if we can get it. I wonder if this was very much the intention behind the episode, where of course we always famously we love going through our Breaking Bad and our Better Call Saul titles and seeing the significance and how they parallel what happens in the episode and such. So I wonder if sexual harassment, of course, the main video that's being made. I wonder if the double title, the double meaning behind the title is we do end with a bit of kind of sexual harassment, of that double standard, and that's the beat that we end on. If we make fun and we mock the whole like, oh yeah, the sexual harassment video they're making still isn't really condoning or condemning. It's just presenting and just like not really saying anything about it. And that's the comedy. It's the gag. It's the whole like, okay, we show the appropriate, the inappropriate, and then just something silly. And we've been doing that very simple, very straightforward. And again, okay, sexual harassment video because the previous one was from the 40s and advocated sexual harassment. I guess at the end it kind of says, we're doing this because we have to, not because we believe in it. In a company called Kid Control, where again, from what I can tell, and again, folks, that's the other major gripe I still have with the show. I still have no idea what Kid Control does.
Right.
The point is, it's a company that seems that their money is essentially on abuse of some kind. It's on talking down to the children, and again, it seems to be advocating. I'm not saying the makers of this. I'm just saying it's about like spanking your children, not being ashamed of that and such. It's like that sort of mentality. And I think we're just saying we're kind of advocating other sorts of abuse within the workplace through kind of this dynamic that Hal and Zoe have, where again it's less the sexualization. It's more like you belong to me. I possess dominion over you because you and I protect you in the workplace. Therefore, you're going to. He basically the line that he says, to get back on point here a little bit, is your acting career is over. No one eats off Hal Miller's plate, which is a very disgusting line. And again, she did kind of sell her soul. Hence the cleavage thing that I keep weaving through there, is because in opening herself up and trying to, I wonder if there's going to be a sad revelation with Zoe, if not this season or like maybe down the line if we ever revisit Watching You. I wonder if there's going to be like a revelation of, hey, a sad revelation with Zoe that she opened herself up like this because she was feeling lonely like Jessica in the first place, and she did this as a way of making friends, and it kind of backfired on her, and she just kind of settled into her fate, and she worked with the advantages that presented for her, making kind of a more complex character. I don't know. We'll see.
Yep.
So yeah. Let's see. So following that's no one eats off. No one eats off Hal Miller's plate, but what a dish though. So Taylor bumps into Evan on the way out. And I love that Evan is kind of the intersect of our Jessica story. He's kind of like this intersect between our two stories in a way, where again, like he and of course the guy we're going to reveal at the very end of the episode, Evan, and so it's kind of the big point of interest. Like he literally bumped into him. So I wonder if this is going to be a significant plot point that Evan might be kind of the key to it all. I don't know.
Ooh. So anyways, he calls Evan home alone.
And as Taylor leaves, Evan calls him an a-hole.
Appropriately.
And then on the way out, now Tiki, I love how this was shot, because just giggle at a time. It's a learning process. No one's perfect. Sometimes you're gonna get the reflection in the shot, but this time I think they used it to their advantage. Where as Taylor's coming out of the building, you see that there's a man in the reflection of the door, not the cameraman. There's a man on his phone in the reflection of the door as Taylor comes out while he is on his phone, which is a really neat kind of little parallel there. And it's kind of building that there's a connection with our characters going on here. Again, he's not on the phone with this other guy, but the point is he's on the phone, and we're going to reveal another character's on the phone, and we're going to say, okay, these two guys. It's kind of like it's. I don't say spelling out in a negative way. I'm just saying that it's leading the breadcrumb trail of like, okay, even if for some reason you've forgotten the Bill Gundry character, and that's the big rip. We reveal Dr. Gundry, I call him, the doctor, the man at the door, that guy. Mm-hmm. As Taylor's leaving, talking to his agent, presumably saying, "Yeah, I'm the Daniel Day-Lewis of instructional video." We had this awesome reveal of, again, like when the door opens, Gundry's gone all of a sudden. When the door closes, he's gone. Then he walks in the frame. That was a really cool reveal shot for the guy, and again showing that he has plans for Taylor, and that there's something a little eerie about this guy where he kind of disappears when the door closes again. I think they use like a good
And
bait
of
and
course,
switch
this
on
guy,
that.
throughout our whole speculation, we think that he's going to be sort of the inciting incident kind of guy, the guy who either directly or indirectly puts what we saw on the pilot in place. Dragon, at this point, I'm next to certain that we don't see the pieces connect until the end of the final episode.
Okay, well, I'm going to speculate this. I speculate, and I only have one bit of speculation here, folks. Because again, interestingly, like the last episode, we don't have like a little promo of what's going to happen next time. And you'll notice they actually, when they did it, like last time, it was like kind of the emotional. It was a very smart choice to kind of go out on the kind of the emotional resonance of episode 4. And in this case, we're going off in kind of the uneasiness that something's a coming around the corner, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess my spec is I really think the big meeting is next week. I think well, yeah, next episode. I think that's the big collision. I think that's, again, whether he gets hit by a car or not, wherever. I think that's what the big thing's going to happen next episode. And I think it's going to happen. Well, again, we're going to see her side of it, and that's going to start us off, and then they're going to meet each other by the end of the next episode.
Okay, and then basically episode 7, which would be the finale, is going to be like kind of continuing on from the pilot finally.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And of course, folks, we haven't watched these episodes in advance. You know, Dragon, I hope that's true on your end still.
Yes. I mean, after this, I might. I mean, very well. After we get done here, I might watch the next episode. But again, I haven't watched it while we have watched this one, so I don't know what's coming next at this point.
Okay. All right, Dragon, would you like to give us an outro?
Uh, you mean final thoughts?
Oh yeah, final thoughts. Sure. So, sorry. Yeah, final thoughts on this one, folks. I just think it definitely is a breath of fresh air. We got some great physical comedy out of Johnny Walker. We had some really good delivery from Xerxes, and overall, it did deliver some interesting, kind of thought-provoking stuff about. You know, it's almost like it's almost kind of like that classic Just Giggle It subversion of the setup and payoff, where it's a setup and then a misdirection, where we think it's just going to be all about the ha-has and the LOLs of making a sexual harassment video, whereas at the end of the day, it's actually a pretty dark parable on you know, the pitfalls of dominance in the workplace. So I think there's some very smart writing here, and I'm definitely looking forward to the next two.
Yeah. My final thoughts. This might be our sweet spot in plotting. I mean, this episode seemed to be a real kind of sweet spot in the plotting of things. Again, I think it better utilized what they were going for with Taylor. And again, I'm not sure if that's because the bases were loaded with episode 4 or not. It might just be, again, like the whole, like it's part of a big whole versus like individual episodes. But I'm just saying, in kind of the balance of structure and everything, this is it plays a lot better than we're trying to introduce this unlikable character. We're just using him to tell a story. And again, when we use him to tell a story and to again strengthen kind of our dynamics between characters, I think that's when he's firing all cylinders. So this episode had fun comedy. It put things in the motion. Tiki, I think you're right. That is I think that I love that you can take it both ways. I love that you can just go with it and just like the base comedy of it, which again, I don't mean base in any negative way. Just, it's kind of the main, but basically what you see is what you get. But you also have that kind of question, especially on a rewatch of, you know what? I mean, yeah, that kind of makes the title even more appropriate, where you see how it reads into the actual workplace, and do we learn anything at the end of the day? So again, there's some intrigue there at the end, and again, that's you're right, absolutely right. Tiki. That is the sell of Just Giggle. These guys, not only do we get laughs, not only do we comedy, we get it in unexpected ways, and with some unexpected heart here and there. Definitely, yeah, some definite welcome intrigue. So, of course, folks, before we go, also let's shout out that so far, once we finish watching you want to tell them about it?
Yeah, sure, folks. So after we finish watching you, we're going to be getting into season 3 of the Just Giggle It Grab-Bag. Feels surreal that we're on the verge of season 3 already, Dragon, and we do have a legit lineup for season 3, and It's all fan requests. Yay!
And folks, either in the comments in the community page on Just Giggle It, or just, again, preferably at the bottom of these videos, which we will check and, comb through by all means. We will,
On live streams that Joshua Thomas hosts, that usually one if not both of us will usually be on for those too, if you want to hit us up there.
Oh yeah, most recently too, because before a lot of the time it would be kind of like be like a lightning strike when these live streams would happen. Because now Josh Thomas has given us more clearance and more warning. I don't mean we directly, I mean we as the whole, and we kind of know when they're coming a little bit more. Versus like it's like sporadically 17 minutes, like hey guys, and then he's just going back because he's a busy man, folks. He's going back to there you go, they're great content. That's why. But yeah, folks, so far we have 5 in the bag, and you can add to that lineup, folks. We could have, even if it goes past like 10, like the first season we did was 10 episodes. I mean, watching you'll be 7. By all means, we can have like a lengthy season or a non-lengthy season. It'll just be like you guys are directing how the season goes. So, folks, it's in your hands. Our fate is in your hands.
Sure, absolutely. And of course, as the season goes on, any more fan requests that we get, we'll just add to the pile until we're out of fan requests, basically.
Well, certainly, they don't just be back to, boring basics of like, hey, Tiki, what do you want to talk about this week? What do you want to talk about this week?
No, to be fair, we also have, I believe one of the things we're going to get into if it doesn't get fan requested is heightened.
Well, yes. Yes, but we also might be doing some of that with our fan request.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anyway, all right, folks. So again, watch Harley Quinn and Joker versus the Real World episode 5. Check out Watching You, because why wouldn't you? Again, especially if you liked Erase Away, you get to see kind of the formative years of Joshua Thomas in Watching You. Again, guy going from like full kind of dramatic, angsty movie, angsty in a good way, folks. Angsty in like it's a deep and personal story. It's if you want to see our coverage of that, it's kind of us reminiscing what we took away from Erase Away. If you want kind of a taste of what the young filmmaker Joshua Thomas was how he's grown as a filmmaker, you can watch this. You can watch these episodes. Like all 7 episodes of Watching are online. You can watch those. You get kind of like the grand midpoint of the man's career, even the second stage, like the serial. We've seen the movie, and now we've seen the series, and now of course we've seen kind of the empire with Just Giggle It. So again, there's definitely a grand kind of scale of Joshua Thomas evolutionary bliss and wonder going on there. So yeah. All right. So unless you have anything else, Tiki?
Nope.
That does it until next reach into the JustGiggleIt Grab-Bag. Granny Smith apple.